Okay, hello. So I had this experience with the game, and since it's all about experimenting and sharing those experiences, I thought I would tell you the story of how my post on Reddit got taken down by a moderator because I was using AI. And what happened is that I wanted to create a post on the Godot subreddit. Because I was using Godot with AI, and I chose to use Godot for specific reasons. And I had this setup that isn't common with Godot, like not using the editor. And I wanted to share those experiences, but also my reflections and hesitations about AI and why I did. And I prefaced the whole thing with why I chose to use AI in the first place. And all that. And then the first thing that happened is that a moderator said that this was a planted story by industry, which blew my mind. That I didn't know this was an actual thing, but makes me understand even more why, especially maybe the game development community is so hesitant and sensitive about anything AI. Because if these companies are hiring people to create content, to influence people to change their mind about AI and kind of convince them that you can just create any game and kind of dilute the whole concept of even doing game development, I completely understand that. But that wasn't the case here, right? So I tried to say like, hey, I'm just a dude from Norway, 42 years old, dad, like I have good intentions here. But at the end of the day, the reason the post got taken down is because there's a rule there about models being trained on copyrighted data. And it made me reflect on how I've been using AI for coding. And I don't think about that. I don't think about it being wrong to use AI for coding. And I think that's partly because I have been coding myself for such a long time that I've kind of acquired that skill. So using AI doesn't feel like I'm cheating. I'm just being more productive. But then also, coding isn't the same as music and art, because it doesn't have the same kind of copyright protection. Like you have licenses on code, and I guess some code has been trained, or models has been training on code that has licenses that arguably shouldn't allow that training to happen. But at the end of the day, like we have this open source, like most code is open source, and the stuff you put in, the code you put in, there's just so much of it. You don't have like an artistic ownership in it. It's not like unique, it's just instructions for a computer. So we just don't have that with coding. So yeah, that's a reflection. And then the important thing then is like, if you're using things like Suno that I do, it is definitely trained on copyrighted material. So they are breaking the law and they are settling lawsuits left and right. So that argument is very strong and I totally agree with it. So another thing that made me reflect is that there was a person that said that this all sounded really boring. Like, why didn't I just build the game myself? And I think this is a misconception about AI in building things, is that yes, you can take it very far and you can tell the AI to do everything for you. Like you give up all creative control, all decision making, and all opportunity for learning. But that's not equal to using AI. But it made me think about, there are two aspects of building something. There is the process of building, and then it's having built something. And I was very focused on having built a game. I wasn't so focused on the process of building, which I found interesting. And this other, I think it was the moderator, also said that Like a game doesn't have to finish, just enjoy the process of building it. And that also got to me. I remember trying to learn to create pixel art, and I had a lot of joy doing that. But I do think my mind is very stuck on trying to complete something. But as I was building the game, I didn't feel in any way that I was skipping the building journey of that game. Like, I was at it every single day, iterating and iterating and iterating. The only thing is that I wasn't iterating on code. I wasn't iterating on the music, or writing the music, or recording the sound effects. I was iterating on the game design. Like, Claude didn't design the game. I designed the game. Like, I didn't give up any creative control or decision making or opportunity to learn about game design in that game. It was just the one leg of building a game that I really wanted to do. And this is what baffles me with game development as a whole. It's like, it's such a broad set of skill sets you have to put together to be able to build a game. So another reflection that I had around this is how, like, where does the boundary go with AI? Because through history, we've been abstracting the way we build things. And doing so, we give up a little bit of creative control, we give up a little bit of decision making, we give up a little bit of opportunity to learn. But not to the extent that we lose ownership in what we're building, right? But AI is the first technology where you can take this huge leap and completely give up creative control, completely give up decision making, and completely give up the opportunity to learn something. But that doesn't make AI equal to that, right? You can use AI in much smaller steps where, yes, you do give up some creative control, you do give up some decision making, and you do give up some opportunity to learn. And this is true for coding and music and sound effects and narrative and everything. But you still own the whole thing. You make the majority, like 99.9% of the decisions. You still have full creative control and all of this. So I think that's kind of missing in the conversation, especially around game development, from my little experience here, is that it's so sensitive that if AI is even mentioned, it's like you're giving up everything. But that simply isn't true. So then you can like ask yourself, since you need to have all these skills, it's perfectly okay now that if you're a programmer, you can use an asset store to get the art and the sound effects, for example. But what if you generate art and the sound effects, given that the model hasn't used copyrighted material? What's the difference between using handcrafted assets and generated assets from the perspective of the developer, right? You can argue that you should use what's human created versus AI created. That's perfectly fine. But from the perspective of the consumer, it doesn't matter, right? You're still using things you haven't created yourself. And is that fine? Or is only the true game developer is someone who actually possesses all the skills and does everything by hand? Or there's a team that has all the skills and does the thing together? Are those the only people that should be able to create games? And I don't know. These are just reflections. But one conclusion I have to all of this is that when you use AI as heavily as I've done with this game, I don't think it should be sellable. Like, you shouldn't sell it. I watched this other video with a game developer that was testing AI, and he just said, like, okay, this is really cool what it's able to build. It's a fun game, but you can't sell that. And I think that's true here. It's using AI for creating games, even to the extent I've done. You shouldn't sell it. You build it for yourself, for your friends, or give it away for free. Maybe that's not even fine, because it's gonna like mix up with all the handcrafted games and kind of, yeah. It's really interesting. But I do think that is the conclusion. It's the same with music. Like, I have some guitar riffs I did 20 years ago that I uploaded to Suno, and it created music out of it. I would never sell that music, right? So, yeah, I do feel that is really the boundary. There's a boundary of how much AI you can use until it's not okay to sell it, because you didn't really create it. And I'm like very on the edge with what I did with TreadHeads, I think. Yeah, those are my reflections. Hope it made sense. Thanks.